Hey guys, it's Nailbiter, and I've got another World of Tanks video here. And this is a round that I had with the Object 140, and it's probably one of the best rounds I've ever played in World of Tanks, and I think it's actually the highest damage output I've had in a single game. So it's a really good round, and also happens to be my ace tanker with this tank. I think I got this round after playing maybe 20 games or so with this tank, so it was fairly early on. And I had actually, in those first 20 games or so, I had actually been fairly frustrated. I hadn't been playing horribly, but I hadn't had a really good game with this tank. And then this game kind of popped up out of nowhere, so I was really pleased with this round. And it wasn't so much an exciting round, but I ended up just doing really well and getting a lot of damage and experience. So hopefully you guys enjoy the replay. So it's on Sacred Valley, which is an okay map. I don't hate it, but there are definitely better maps out there. Yeah, this is something I like to do in medium tanks, particularly when there's no artillery. I like to go to the southeast here, and you can spot the enemies that come up here, and you can spot for the tank destroyers that you often get sitting back near your base if you spawn on the south side. So I got up here and got to spawn the Leopard 1, and he gets hit, and then I am able to take him out pretty quickly. And then I get a tracking shot on the Centurion 7-1, and I'm just going to keep him tracked there so that he can't get away. The DPM on this tank is amazing. That's one of the main reasons that I like it so much. You can just pump out damage really fast, and I can keep this guy tracked there because of the quick reload rate. I was trying to see if I could get a shot on the T-62 and help out my AMX-50B that had moved up there, but I don't have a good shot on him, so I decided to just focus on the Centurion that's still tracked there and just finish him off. Now I'm the only one here in this corner, so I've got to be a little careful. That E-75 could definitely give me some trouble. And this T-62 is on my flank, so I want to watch out for him. Now as you can see, most of my team is camped in our base, and so that means that it's really going to be just me doing most of the work for this round, and that's the main reason I end up with so much damage. I get a nice shot into the cupola of that E-75 there. And now I see the enemy Object 140 heading towards me, and he's a pretty good player as well, so I want to back off. I want to be careful here. I'm just going to try to spot for my teammates. This tank also has decent gun depression, which is unusual for a Russian tank. And so especially in a situation like this, I'm able to take advantage of that extra gun depression. So there I spot the T-62, and he almost instantly gets exploded by a T-110E4 that was sitting back in our base. Now this E-75 looks like he wants to get a shot on me, so I'm just trying to tempt him into doing it and exposing himself. I don't really have any interest in going all the way up there to get a shot on him. It probably wouldn't be worth it. And I notice this Object 268 gets spotted behind me in the middle of the map, so I turn around to get some shots on him. I must have been spotted because that T-110E4 on the enemy team actually puts a really good shot into me from the other side of the map practically. I decide not to repair my track, and I'm just going to keep shooting this Object 268, assuming that I'm going to re-stealth, and assuming that the T-110E4 isn't going to shoot the same spot again. And I'm able to put a bunch of pretty good shots into that T-68 and take him out, and put one of the T-110E4. That E-75 tracks me, the E-75 that's in front of me. I wasn't really paying too much attention to him, and he decided to sneak a shot into me. Fortunately, I think only the front of my track was exposed, so he didn't do any damage to me. Another thing that's actually worth mentioning about the Object 140, and was part of the reason I was able to hit so many shots into that 268 that was in the center of the map that was actually pretty far away from me, is that besides the accuracy of this tank being really good, the shell velocity is actually really high, so it makes it a lot easier, I think, to hit targets that are farther away, a lot easier to hit moving targets because you don't have to give as much lead with your shots, and you don't have to try to judge where the enemy is trying to go. So I found that I'm able to hit a lot more of those longer distance shots, and it definitely improves my performance with this tank. I think it's something that is underestimated, or it's an underestimated trait with some of these medium tanks. So I see my T110 E3 coming up here to my side, and looks like he's gonna go straight at the 140 and the E75 there. So I'm gonna try to flank. I don't think there are any other tanks that are up here that I have to be worried about, and so I'm gonna get on the side of this 140, who's trying to get on the side of the E3. And since he's totally preoccupied by the E3, I'm gonna move out. I'm gonna be careful to keep that rock between me and the E75 so that he can't shoot me. And the E3 actually shoots the E75. I think he was trying to get a shot on me and poked out a little too far. And the 140 is completely preoccupied with our E3, and he takes him out, but I'm able to take out the 140. So that ended up being a good flank there. I was able to actually take the 140 out almost completely from full health. So now I don't think there are any other tanks left on this hill here in the southeast. I see that there's an E100 that was last spotted kind of around the E8 area. So I'm going to see if I can spot him and maybe get some shots on him. Our team's winning 9-5, so I'm not too worried about this round. My goal at this point is just to get some more damage. I've already done over 6,000 damage, so it's already been a pretty good round for me. The E100 actually moved up, so I'm just going to drop down behind him and get some shots into his back. There you can see the good reload rate on this tank. It really is a DPM machine. The accuracy on the move is also really good. I do have vertical stabilizers on this tank, but the accuracy is just really, really good. I'm hoping to get the kill shot, and the WZ bounces off the E100's back, and so I'm able to finish him off. So that gives me a top gun. And I've got over 7,000 damage. This IS-4 pops up behind me. I was kind of hoping I could bounce that shot. I was trying to angle myself a little bit and make it so that he could only shoot my turret. But that is one of the frustrating things. One of the few frustrating things with this tank is the turret armor can be a little inconsistent. Sometimes it'll bounce, but sometimes you'll get penned at really weird angles, and that can be kind of frustrating. So I'm able to keep this IS-4 tracked in position and get a few shots into his lower plate. The IS-4 has a pretty weak lower plate. Even when it's really angled, it's almost always better to shoot the IS-4 in the lower plate than it is in the side, because the side armor absorbs a ton of shots. I didn't really want to take another shot here from the IS-4, so I'm just going to wait for that M103 to go first and take the shot for me. And I'm going to finish him off. Actually, that's my 6th kill. So now I've got a top gun. I've only got 2 AP shells left, though. I've already used up quite a bit of ammo. I'm just going to try to flank to the other side and get some side shots on the few remaining enemy tanks that are over in the D3 area. This tank is also pretty quick. It's got a faster or a higher top speed, I believe, than its counterpart, the T62A, which is the other Tier 10 Russian medium. Although actually there's a third Tier 10 Russian medium that's going to be released in the 8.10 patch. So there I take a quick shot into that VK4502B and set him on fire. That was a pretty lucky shot. It took a bad shot there on the M103. I was hoping to get lucky, and it just missed. And here, another pretty iffy shot that misses that E4. And the M103 behind me finishes him off. So now I'm looking at my minimap, and I can tell that the IS-7, the last tank alive on the enemy team, hasn't been spotted yet, so I'm guessing he's AFK in base. And one of the enemy tanks reaffirms that in chat. So I'm just going to head to the base and try to get a bit more damage. I've got just under 9,000 damage at this point. And there's the IS-7. Take kind of a silly shot here that was kind of stupid. The IS-7 was angled down a little bit, so that makes it a little harder to pen the lower plate, and I just had to go around, get some shots into his back. So this last 1,000 damage or so was was on an AFK tank, so I suppose that maybe diminishes this round a little bit, but still I end up doing really well. I get there the final kill. So I got 8 kills, a Radley-Walters medal, and just under 10,000 damage. I'm gonna I'm gonna round up and call it 10,000 damage, and there you can see I got Ace Tanker as well. A pretty high amount of XP for a tier 10 tank, so I was really happy with this round. So hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.